Hey everybody, and welcome back to another session of Dragonmark Symphony here on Natural One Media. My name is Dylan, I am your GM for the evening. Here with my friends as we continue our campaign across the nation of Corvair. Last time we met was a bit of a doozy.
Continent?
You know? The continent of Corvair, yes.
Did you say Corvette?
Corvair.
No, that's from Halo.
Oh, that's fair. Wait, isn't that Covenant?
Oh my god.
No, that's the enemy.
Wait, you mean it's not
Freddy, what happened last time?
Please stop interrupting the DM.
I'm so sorry. Continue, please.
No. You want this? You want the spotlight? So, Franny, can you please let us know where did we start off last time in our?
Oh, that's. I'm glad you asked. We started off, I believe, at the hill of where we were, where we had just finished speaking with Annette. We had just finished the conversation about the werewolf and about the misinformation that was going around about the moons and such. And I was hanging out with our dear friend, the slightly bleeding sheep. I tried communicating with the sheep, didn't work out so well. It was just a sheep. But after that, we got back on the road. Two farmers were talking to Hush Puppy and Baja. And we had a conversation with that farmer that Set had a pleasant conversation with when we first entered the town, or this little settlement. And then after that, we got on the road. And
yes, you got on the road.
Yeah, we went towards, I believe it was called, oh, I didn't write down the exact name. So I will have to tap out at that.
Well, so right. You mean like, are you wondering, are you not sure what the road's name is, or?
No, the place where we ended up in, where the LSD Dream emulator started.
Oh, that was the Crying Fields.
Yes.
That is the Crying Fields, my friend, which you were sufficiently warned about, and yet. So yes, in order to reach, currently on your path, heading towards the City of Passage, the road that you're taking, before you can reach Passage, you first need to pass through the smaller town of Galt, just north of you there. And in order to reach that town, you needed to pass through an area that is known as the Crying Fields, due to this being kind of like a major battleground for several years during the Great Century-Long War. And there are these vehement rumors that, you know, if you're traveling through the fields, you can hear the murmurs and the shouts and screams of soldiers dying in battle carried on the wind, as well as encounter spirits and ghosts that haunt these hills. You all, of course, continued on through. And wouldn't you know it, appeared to have encountered all of those things. And had a very eventful carriage ride as you attempted to get through the Crying Fields as quickly as possible, and found yourselves trapped in your carriage, unsure of which way was up and which way was down, as blood-colored leaves and grass assaulted you, nearly suffocated Dak to death, before Set was able to, with some quick thinking, grab the mace that once belonged to one Nathaniel, that was with you all before, and slam it into the point of entrance that the rogue grass was using, seemingly sealing it off and allowing all of you to break free of the Crying Fields spell that it had on you, whatever it may be. The result was that when you all regained consciousness, you were back on the other side of the fields, and able to continue on your journey, heading towards the town of Galt. There were a few other things that happened in the Crying Fields, but I will leave that to the players if they want to discuss that. But we are going to hop back into the game. As you are all in the carriage is moving at full speed. Hush Puppy and Baja are not wasting any time. They are moving forward at a full pace, and as such, the bumps in the road feel much stronger. You're shaking around in the carriage a bit, though not quite as much as before, as you speed off towards the town of Galt.
We're free of hell.
So, moral of the story is that Kevin, despite you not being here last week, you saved us regardless.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Essentially, to give a better recap, yeah, we kind of essentially got essentially the spirits of this marsh. Just kind of had us be just had us kind of on a bit of a trip,
It was not fun. And
yeah, we saw a lot of things. We essentially saw as if a bunch, like we saw like this essentially dwarf ghost rip its face off into a black void, kind of go on top of the carriage, which then became sorry, the essentially essentially gave us a huge thing where we it was as if the cart was getting caved in. I essentially poked a hole because I thought it was like the ghost pressing into the cart. And then instead, what looked like blood, but was in fact actually all the blood-colored grass filling into the cart, and us being thrusted to the ceiling until we awoke. Went down.
That sounds like so much fun.
it was something.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. If we have to go back, we're taking the long way because fuck that.
Yeah. I'm never going back there again. I don't like that.
Dak has been perpetually rubbing his neck because he's been choked by grass, and just nods fervently to that statement.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Okay. Don't mind me. I almost just spilled a bunch of ink. Anyway.
So, do we know about how far we have left to travel to get to Galt?
You
That's a
could
question for,
you can
Hush
ask
Puppy and
Hush
horses
Puppy,
if you
yeah.
like.
Yeah, I'll call out to them. Baha, Hush Puppy, do we know about how much farther we have until we get to Galt?
Not too far now. Maybe another, what do you think, Baja? About 40 minutes or so. We should be very close. Shot, dude, we're like practically there, except for the fact we're not there. So just, hang on, Listen, we'll let you know if anything else happens. It's like freaky deaky, okay? We're keeping an eye out.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Let's just try to relax. We should be almost there. And at what point in the day are we at right now?
You left the Dragon Inn pretty early in the morning still. So we would be looking at probably a little past noon. Say 1-ish.
Yeah, we'll stop at Galt, do what we need to do there, and make sure that we can move on by the next morning if all goes well. We were gonna let the officials at Galt know about the werewolf, correct?
Yes.
That was the plan.
That is part of the plan.
Yeah.
But that's what I remembered, and I was just wanting to clarify. Yeah, all right, let's get to Galt then.
All right. We will timey-wimey a little bit. Fast forward. As in the distance, you see, coming up towards you, where Rote had these immense stone walls surrounding the city. Galt is much smaller in comparison and has no real walls or fortifications in place to protect it. It's fairly open, and you can spot a couple windmills sort of along the western side. As you approach, you see that there is this kind of cobblestone main street running through the town. Several buildings lined up along the sides. It definitely has that feel of like almost like an old Wild West town. All of you can see immediately where there's like a tavern set up. There are a few market shops nearby, and then veering off over to the right, there are a few larger like pastures, and a little further off in the distance, but still very much a part of the town, you do see a lone cylindrical tower that stands a good 45-50 feet up in the air, highly decorated with all kinds of flora and large banners that are a purple and yellow color pattern to them. There is a emblem on the banners that is a lion standing on top of a snake that it is like pushing into the ground. The carriage pulls into kind of down into this main cobblestone street, and there are people walking about, and you see that there are all sorts of fashions here. There are people in just sort of like plain work clothes, intermingling and moving about with others who are dressed in higher affair. Large blossoming dresses, some glamour weave. You catch a couple people have glamour weave, enchanted petticoats that not only reflect the sun but also seem to take its energy and absorb it, creating a rainbow of colors that shifts and moves like a chameleon's skin. There is just a very audible roar of noise and voices and music playing coming out of the tavern on the left side. And you can even see that there is just on the other side, there is a smaller building set up with what appears to be like a pterodactyl parked outside of it, tied up with rope, next to a horse, and both of them are eating from a trough full of grain. And there is a sign on the building that says Galt Post Office in just like big emblazoned letters.
And that's the building that the pterodactyl is outside of?
Correct.
Interesting. And I hate to do this. By pterodactyl, you mean like what we typically think of as like the big winged creature, and not just the general pterodactylus. Genus,
maybe a pterodon would be more accurate to say.
Yeah, I literally only clarify because I literally just listened to an episode of a podcast that an archaeologist who specializes in pterosaurs was speaking on, and so it's like, yeah, pterodactyl. It's Pterodactylus is the genus for like a bunch of different species of pterosaurs.
Exactly.
So
exactly. No, it is definitely more
fucking
akin
nerd.
to the one
Nerd. It was
popular
nerd.
fiction.
yeah,
For the rest of the people here, your characters, of course, likely don't know this, but you players did get to see some of these in Year of the Toad. You got to interact with some of these pterodons. And so
Oh, fuck,
it's
you're right.
similar to that one. It is there's no feathers. It's all scales. Kind of like a greenish blue stripe pattern running down its back.
Hmm.
But yeah, the carriage, Hush Puppy and Baja kind of take like a slow curve left over to where there is there's like a station set up to the left of the tavern there, and there are posts there to kind of like essentially like a rudimentary parking spot to kind of just pull the carriage right up into, and Hush Puppy and Baja disengage themselves from the carriage, and they open the doors for you. All right.
Alright.
We are here. We are here in the town of Galt. Everybody, you are now free to move about the cabin, as it were. I think Baja and I are going to go pay a visit to the postman there. We actually had some questions for them, so this is a bit of a convenient stop for us.
Are you too familiar with this area?
We haven't been through here very often. We have friends who have visited this area before. We are more acquainted with the nearby Blue Vine area, but that's mostly because of its reputation for the wine. You see, Blue Vine, I should say, is where a lot of the blueberries and the sort of the primary ingredients for the famous Blue Vine blueberry wines are gathered. But here at Galt and I'm gonna roll something here. 5. Okay.
Swipe.
Hush Puppy sort of lifts up their front hoof and kind of like gestures off towards that large tower. The roll was to determine whether they would use their hoof or just sort of point at their head. That tower over there is, if I'm not mistaken, is actually a distillery owned by one of the local lords, where they produce a very large amount of that infamous wine. Very, very important commodity for this area.
Okay, that's good to know. We'll ask some details about like who to speak to about this werewolf thing from the tavern keeper. Then I would imagine that they would probably be able to point us in the right direction.
Yes, I imagine so.
All right.
Be safe, a lot of you, as always.
You as well.
If you need anything, just
Good
scream
luck.
really loudly. I'll recognize the sound of your voice.
Great. We'll do our best.
Yeah, like the fucking video where the waiter's like, "All right, just let me know if you need any help, and just shout for help if you need anything." Hi, I need just something on the menu.
All right. Might as well make our way in to the tavern then, right?
I suppose.
Okay. The tavern has saloon-style double doors that swing both ways. You push them open, and you are greeted to a very large bar area. It is absolutely jam-packed. This is nowhere like what you had seen with like the Cow's Eye. Like almost every table is occupied. Tons of people are standing. There's a group of 7 or 8 people that are dancing on there's like a small like rectangular dance floor situated over to the left that a lot of people are dancing at. Over to the right of the bar there is a gentleman in a pinstripe vest and black trousers who is just smashing away at what appears to be some sort of a piano. And musical notes are floating out of the top of the piano, and they sort of coast over top of everybody's heads, floating above, causing the light shining down on them to like burst outward like a prism and illuminate the whole room, creating these like strobe like effects, making it almost look like a disco club. there is a large bar at the back, and it is also filled with people. There are several bartenders here, not just one, and they are all, moving back and forth frantically, tossing drinks back and forth. Many of them chucking drinks over each other's head, and then another bartender catches it, slams it down on the bar, immediately turns around, catches another one, slams it on the bar, shifts them around. They're sliding them over. It's like it almost looks like impossibly coordinated, everybody's movements, as they all deftly, slide glasses back and forth, move around between each other, as if they've been doing this for dozens of years.
They're prepped.
Does there look to be anyone that would be more available to speak to about inquiring towards like rooms and just general info?
Yeah, make a perception check for me.
18 plus 4, so 18.
Okay, 18. So you see, kind of looking around the room, you see, before you even start clocking individual people, you take note of a winding staircase that sort of wraps around the back half of this tavern and goes upstairs where there's an upper landing. There are several people looking down from above. You see men and women alike who are just sort of glancing down, shouting to the people down below or waving at them. One of the bartenders down below takes a huge stein of ale and just chucks it up to the upper landing, and a younger man up there almost throws himself over the railing, manages to catch it, gives it to the young lady next to him, who kind of blushes and goes, "Oh, that was impressive," and takes the ale from him. The back down below, you notice a couple people. There's a few people that kind of stick out specifically. There was a person at the left end of the bar who, having just finished pouring this enormous glass and like sort of pushed it over to the side, has pulled out what is just like this giant like ledger of a book and has slammed it on the bar. They've thrown it open and they appear to be writing something down with a quill. They get frustrated. They go, they snap, and a second quill appears out from under the bar and also begins writing. And so they both write in unison, just sort of scribbling away on it. To their left, there's like a little dark entryway that appears to maybe go into like a cupboard or maybe like a downstairs area that's nestled underneath the stairs. Standing in that entryway, there is a figure, tall, hunched over, broad shoulders, a immense black top hat on their head, a large handlebar double mustache that kind of splits out, almost like enormously thick cat whiskers. The figure is just sort of crouched in the doorway, looking out at all the people around. They make eye contact with you, and you see that the eyes are a bright green. They, from underneath of their double mustache, a twisted smile stretches, and they raise one hand to wave hello, and then they raise the other hand, and it is actually a giant hook where their hand should be. And they just kind of go. The third person you notice that is of some interest to you is a figure that's kind of ducking and diving through the tables and is just sort of like, excuse me, pardon me. Shorter figure in stature, shorter cut hair as well. That's kind of pulled back a little bit. It's been kind of greased back. Slightly puffy cheeks, bit of a rounder nose. And they are carrying like a small little tray of what appears to be a couple glasses of like an ale or a beer of some sort. And they are just kind of, weaving through. Excuse me, pardon me, I didn't mean to step on your toe there. Please don't mind me. And they kind of accidentally bump into someone and they go, watch it. And he's like, oh, yes, of course, don't mind me. And he kind of pulls his collar up a bit to hide his face and moves. But with your 18, even with the collar pulled up, something strikes you as familiar about this person. And they kind of weave their way through the crowd until they get over to a corner table where a group of like 4 or 5 rather shady-looking individuals are just kind of sitting around. One of them is holding a menu, and it reads just like the menu on the front, so you can't see their face. And then the other ones are just sitting there looking sour, as he, clinking the tray, sort of approaches the table and scoots them out.
Can I think of where I recognize them from, or did I not
Make a
get
history check.
as good of a look? All right.
Make a history check.
No. I rolled
No.
a 2.
A 2.
It literally does
You-
not matter what my modifier
it's like-
is.
It's on the tip of your tongue. You're like, why do they look familiar to me? It's just this. They appear to be like maybe like a halfling or a gnome or something. They're shorter. There's just something about them. The face. You don't know what it is quite, but it's like you feel like you've seen this person before, but you can't. It's just not hitting you.
They probably
That's a total of 5, so it's
Okay.
yeah. I'll note it and just be like, that person looked familiar, but I can't remember from where. And I'll just kind of briefly mention that to the party before going up to the bar closer to where the person with like the ledger is, as I would assume that would be the person who I would probably need to talk to.
I will ask you to make me. Let's see. I think we're gonna do. This will be something of like an athletics check. You're gonna have difficulty kind of maneuvering
Not
through
acrobatics?
because of how crowded the bar is. Well, yeah. I suppose acrobatics would be a better fit. Yeah.
All right.
You
No, I gotta
you have
make
to
a
kind of
note.
definitely move through this very crowded room. People are moving and bustling about.
It's a 17.
17, yeah. So it is no problem for you. You are able to very easily just kind of slink your way in between people, step where you need to step, find openings, and just sort of step through. Pardon me, excuse me, just saying just enough to be able to get through and pass by people so you can make your way up to the bar.
I have
Cool.
bad news. I smacked my mic with my pen and I broke it.
You broke
mic
The
your...
or the
mic or
pen?
the pen?
No, my pen.
Oh.
Okay.
My glass pen.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Very sad.
That's a bummer.
Rip in
This
pieces.
sucks.
Oh man. There's literally not been a sadder tragedy to happen on this stream.
Alexa, play Celine Dion.
Alexa, play Despacito.
So yeah,
Alexa,
you
where's
are
my
able
dad?
to make your way up to the bar.
Cool.
So approaching, I'll basically I'm just pegging this person as the one with the ledger is the person who will most likely be able to get us the answers and set up for rooms and stuff. So walking up, I'll be like, excuse me. When you have a moment, no rush.
The second quill that's been writing autonomously stops and looks up at you.
I had a quick question as well as looking to book some rooms if they're available.
The quill sort of jerks in the air and it speeds under the bar. A second, even larger book comes out from underneath the bar, slams down on the bar, almost spilling a nearby patron's drink over. They turn and look at you. And you see that this is you are kind of startled that because you didn't even pay attention initially, but you are startled as you are inches away from what appears to be a fully grown bugbear, just sitting in this bar having a drink, as they kind of look at you with like a stern, scrunched up face, nostrils flaring.
I'll look at him and go, my sincerest apologies. Here, for your next drink. And I'll just place I would imagine a silver would be good for a drink.
I can't drink that. That's silver.
Yeah, to pay for your next drink.
Okay. He slams the silver and scoots it over, tucks it somewhere. I don't fucking know where. Welcome to Gold. Then he gets very awkward suddenly. He just kind of turns away from you and continues to drinking.
Enjoy your drinks.
New role model.
The
Turning his
quill.
attention back to that,
The quill sort of wraps on the book and then sort of taps on your hand a bit and then wraps on the book.
I'll open the book to whatever it needs me to.
You open the book up and it opens up and you see that there's this long ledger list of rooms that are available, as well as listings of previous people that have written in and named them. If you make me a super quick history check, this is gonna be a low DC, don't worry. We can get some insights on these names.
10.
10. A lot of them are not full names, but initials. Some of them are historical figures. You kind of doubt that the king of Brayland has stayed at this inn at any point, and yet you see his name written several times in different people's handwriting.
Nice.
Very akin to people using presidents' names in the 40s. Whenever checking into a seedy motel.
William Howard Henry Taft.
You know, or if
right,
you were to be
like
buying
Tommy
suits.
Taft.
Tommy Taft.
The
Yeah, or
presidential
using
figure,
the
Tommy
king's name
Taft.
to buy suits. It all makes sense.
Yeah. Things you do.
Yeah, common occurrences, it's fine.
You
Common
you kind
occurrences that reap no consequences.
you got to bring your finger
Absolutely not.
down the list of names just to see if you recognize anything. You see there's a AGW, there's a DLY, there's a MER. None of these really ringing a bell for you. And then you see there's a CJD, and below it, it's crossed out, but somebody wrote. You can just make out the letters. It's like a CA, and then it's been scribbled, and then CJD written again underneath it. On the page over on the right-hand side, there is still a bunch of empty spaces, and so you can see where it's got kind of listed. There's your standard rooms are listed. It's 5 gold a night, real basic rooms. These aren't soft beds. Below that, there's a section that is labeled for VIP. And those are sitting at 10 gold per night. And then there is another section below that is VIP plus accompaniment, and that is at 25 gold.
Probably just a normal one, right?
Yeah. How
We don't
many
need a
regular rooms
splurge.
do you have available?
You see there's 6 or 7 empty spaces for regular rooms. You do notice that the VIP rooms are completely filled, and VIP plus accompaniment are there is one name there.
Yeah, just 4 regular rooms then.
All right. The Quill sort of taps on the book excitedly, dips back down under the table. It comes back up with a jar on it, like it's holding the jar up with the weight of its own feather, and it just kind of like slams the jar down on the bar, almost like smashing it. Flips it upright, and then just like taps the jar repeatedly.
I'll take out. I have mostly platinum, I believe.
I think I have some gold.
I think I was the only one that like actually made my way up to the front because of how busy it was.
Oh yeah, true.
I'll just have you guys
Just
pay
throw
me
it.
back.
Can I like?
I'll take out.
Make Johannes, go ahead and make a. We'll make this acrobatics 2 just for the fun of it. I wanna
Acrobatics.
Throw that over too.
I mean, I'm just gonna put 2 platinum.
24.
Holy shit!
You
Set,
put 2
if you're willing
platinum
to
down
catch
and you
it,
get
there
1
is
gold.
there is gold flying towards you right now.
Okay, yeah, I'll catch it.
All right, make dex check.
Flat dex.
Flat dex on this, yeah.
That's a 15.
You hear something like whirring through the air, and your instinct kicks in. You whip around and bing, you catch it. I
give like a little like Ken like thumbs up.
The person that was writing in the ledger next to you finally looks up from it and goes, "Nice catch."
Thank you. I caught it, turned back around, and just put 2 platinum in the jar.
The gentleman's eyebrow shoots up into their hairline. They go, "Oh,
Free balling.
big spender, are we?"
1 platinum's 10 gold, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
All right, yeah. 4 rooms. 1 for me and each of my companions.
Not many people come into town and drop platinum at the tip of a hat. You must be very special. In fact, I don't even recognize you. Are you
Yeah,
new here?
yes, we are. We're only staying here temporarily, passing through. We're actually. I had a quick question. I was looking to speak to like someone in charge of like security or something for Galt. We have some information for them.
I see. That sounds like a very dire situation. Well, we do have a head of I suppose security would be a proper name for them. That would be a Mr. Mauser Kibblesberg.
Mauser Kibblesberg.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is completely shot because
Yes, Mr. Kibblesberg is in a matter of sorts, sort of the sheriff around these parts. He has his own office a little bit down the way here. But he is a big part in making sure that our little town stays safe and free of any bad nicks and no good doers.
perfect. And you said is there like a sign or anything that we would be able to?
Oh, you'll know it when you see it. You'll just go back out into the main street here and head north a bit, and you'll see it on our side. There's a big sign overhead with a star.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for that. And if we could get the keys, we'll get out of your hair and let you get back to your documentation. Very important, I know.
Yes. And best of luck to you. I hope you have a pleasant stay here in the town of Galt. You know, while you're here, I do have to say, if you had a little bit of extra time to kill, we do have these amazing tours of our local vineyards. They are very, very reasonably priced at just 3 gold per person, and it's a great way to experience the incredible agriculture that we have here in our town.
You know what? That does sound absolutely amazing, but we are on a bit of a tight schedule. Next time when we swing back through here, though, we will absolutely be sure to take that tour. pressing matters and whatnot right now. So
Yes, of course. I understand completely. By all means, do whatever it is that you need to do. And if you have any other additional questions, I shall be here.
great. Thank you very much. And
You,
then
yes.
grab the keys from him and
You take the keys and you begin to walk away. As you do, you notice that the shadowy figure that was standing in the kind of the entryway there underneath the stairs, they make eye contact with you again, and you see them raise up the hook hand. And then they just kind of like tip their top hat with the hook, and then sort of fade back into the darkness and disappear in the shadow underneath the stairs.
As they like do that, I'll just kind of give them a alrighty then, and make my way back to the rest of the party.
All right.
all right, guys. Very nice throw, by the way.
Thank you. I gotta get the thumbs up again.
And everyone their key got us keys. We each have our own room. 5 gold apiece. Johannes, I don't know how much you threw.
Oh, let's say I probably like threw like 20.
You threw 20 gold pieces in here.
It was in a little sack.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
No, just
I'll
a bunch of
hit
coins.
add.
Yeah, not like
That's what I was picturing though. Is I was just picturing like you toss like a handful of coins, and that's what I caught. No, okay. That's why I was really confused when you said
He's
20.
the one.
Right. He was so good they stayed.
That
in
would
the
be way
stack.
more impressive that you
They're
caught
starting
them.
to believe.
I'd be like, yeah, with what Johannes tossed over to me, the rooms are fully covered. So,
DM, Mr. DM, sir.
Yes.
Real quick,
Yeah.
just as a
Yeah.
reminder to my poor mind, we all. Seth said something about the halfling that he noticed, right?
He
Or-
didn't say anything to you, no.
I did.
Oh,
Okay.
did you?
Yeah, I mentioned that as they walked past, I said that person looks familiar. Before then making my way up.
Okay.
And I
missed
made
that.
sure to mention
Apologies, I
that
missed
to
that.
the party and then
Okay.
head up.
Gotcha.
Understood.
Then Dak is going to make a connection with Set, and say, Set, the halfling that you saw, is it someone you have seen before, or is it you were familiar with them the same way you were familiar with Trist?
No, I just recognize them. Like it feels like we've met before, but I'm not sure where. I don't think necessarily in that same way, because obviously, I mean, just was disguising themselves, but yeah, I'm just not sure. I just don't know what it is. They just seem very familiar.
Should we be cautious?
I mean, we should always be cautious, but I think doubly so. They don't. They look a little shady, anyways. So due diligence and all that.
Understood. Dak will then look to everybody and nod his head as if they were all part of the conversation. They all just heard everything that Seth just said.
If you just like look at us and just like nod your head, just be like, what?
Yeah, so hand everyone the keys and then be like,
They told me where the sheriff's office was, so we can just head straight over there if we want to. Seems a little busy here. I don't know if we'll be able to get much done here.
Well, it's also best this. We just make our way.
Well, to the sheriff's then.
All right. You managed to kind of foot your way back out through the saloon doors, back out into the cobblestone street. It's still busy, many hustle and bustle as people move about, go into various stores, doing things. You kind of walk down the main street a bit. There's like the marketplace shops on your left side. You can see somebody is selling like tanned hides of various animals. Another person is selling food wares. And you see there's a third shop set up that is like medicinal herbs, potions, and they have a sign that's kind of slapped up over on the left of them, with big lettering that says, "We sell snake oil, the good kind."
Yeah, the good kind.
The good kind of snake oil salesman.
But as you continue, you are able to see on that left side that there is a building kind of set up. That has a large star sitting on top of it, and it's like there's like a painted like comet trail coming from the side of it that kind of wraps around. And
The more you know.
there's large windows set up at the front, but they are barred. There's like iron bars over top of the windows. And a single large steel door that's just kind of been bolted into place.
Yeah, walk up and I imagine this is an office so that we could just go in, but also like so that's kind of like
Johannes will just like kind of like.
do we just go
I'll just
in?
go.
Do we
I'll just
not?
go in. I'm just gonna go in.
Okay. You open the door. You walk in. You hear the ring ding ding of what appears to be a like a bell sitting up overhead with a lever that is sticking in a bit so that anytime somebody opens the door, it hits the bell. You step in and you find yourself in a fairly large room. There are a few desks sort of situated off to the right-hand side, and over on the far wall, there are 3 or 4 what appear to be jail cells that are kind of lined up next to each other. Solid iron bars, large, formidable steel doors with massive keyholes in them.
Jack will, as he's following after Johannes, he will hit the bell so he can receive notifications and follow him into the building.
Good. Excellent. As you walk in, you see a young, spry-looking fellow. He is wearing a white, sort of like a dress shirt with a cloth vest over top of it, and he has almost like a cute little bolo tie wrapped dutifully around his neck. He is about 4.5 foot tall, probably around Johannes's height, and he is also appears to be a mouse. And he looks to all of you and he says, "Well, howdy, partners. Anything you need help with today?"
Yeah, we're looking for the sheriff.
Oh, right. Well, the sheriff is in. What are you needing help with then?
We were going to provide some information. We just came from a dragon inn south of here, and we have some information on the werewolf that's in this area that we figured we would share with the relevant peoples.
Ooh. Oh gosh, golly gosh gee, that sure does sound like a whimpering of excitement. Let me call the sheriff. The Sheriff Kibblesburg, we got some folks here from out of town. You said something about a werewolf? You hear the ping, ping.
Just hear like
ping.
a window crash. Many footsteps.
You just see a blur as somebody jumps out the window and runs.
He just left.
No, what you hear.
Scott's not
is-
here.
You hear a pring, 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 thum, thum. This heavy thudding sound of boots on the ground, the clanging of spurs that go jingle jangle, as
Wow.
a tall, imposing looking figure slowly struts around the corner. They wear a large duster coat with a equally dusty cowboy hat nestled on top of their head, ears poking out of the sides. The figure steps forward and they take the hat and they kind of lift it up a little bit so that the shadow recedes and you can see the orange fur and the piercing green eyes of this very roguish looking tabaxi. Large whiskers that spread out to the sides. You see two fanged teeth poking out from underneath a cute little button nose, and one of the ears has like a gash taken out of it. The tabaxi figure walks forward and kind of leans up against one of the jail cell doors. Well, my. What do we have here?
Gulp.
Oh, wait, hold on. So there's a tabaxi sheriff.
That's your name,
and-
son? You call yourself Gulp? Or is that just what your friends call you?
I like tilt my head. I'm surprised you heard that, but no, my name is Johannes.
Son, I'm a tabaxi. We got pretty big ears. They're good for listening.
Interesting. Maybe you should hear us out then about the problem that we came here to discuss with you.
The mouse next to you kind of giggles and goes, "Oh, that was quite clever, young sir. Quite clever."
Yeah.
Yes, they mentioned they had they were saying something about a werewolf problem they wanted to bring to your attention, Mauser. I don't have any experience with that. I don't know if that's something we should be worried about. You see Mauser kind of tips the hat a little bit again. He just kind of says, "Yeah, the thing about werewolves is they're just like big, scary dogs. If you know what kind of bone to throw them, they'll scamper away real quick. But a werewolf sometimes can be a little bit feistier. You got to give them a bigger bone, something they can't resist."
I think we're dealing with like a very, very feisty one. Do you have like a very, very large bone that could do some like severe blunt force trauma to a werewolf's head?
Did you see this werewolf, son?
No, but we saw what it can do.
More importantly, giving the moon that it currently is, it's going to be inherently very dangerous.
Ah. We got one of them wolfies that's affected by the moonlight, do we?
Yeah, that's our big concern right now.
Well, I'll be a rattlesnake in a maraca shop. Tell me something. You said you ain't seen the wolfie, but you saw what it could do. What you mean by that?
Well, when we were out by the the Golden Dragon Inn before, we were exploring, investigating, because we just assumed it would be a more standard werewolf encounter, but it seems to have a penchant for skinwalking, pretending to be other creatures. We saw a massacred sheep, and more than just eaten, its flesh tactically severed from its body. It seemed to be used in some sort of a disguise.
At the mention of the word disguise, you see that the large cat-like eyes sort of widen a bit. Mauser sort of stands up a little bit more and goes, "Well, I'll be a trout at a waterfall convention."
I like this guy.
You're telling me this isn't just a regular werewolf. This is a werewolf with the cognizance to wear sheep's clothing?
That's exactly why we're concerned.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'd be too. Can't say I blame you.
Yeah, we were moving on to Passage, which was where we were heading anyways, but we figured we would, since we're stopping in here, we would let you know so that you could be at least aware of what's going on and, prepare yourself as best you can.
I see. Well, that is mighty kind of a tall glass of beverage such as yourself. And he kind of takes the hat, tips it a little bit. You, was that the only business you had in these parts, or you got something else you were needing as well?
No, we're otherwise just passing through. Our
Yeah, we
main
plan on-
objective is to head towards Passage.
Well, all right there, miss. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll have my partner here begin a report. Write up on this here werewolf, and we can most certainly look into it, see if there's any signs of it maybe wanting to come a walking our way. Certainly hope not, but something such as this we won't be taken too lightly, though.
Well, we appreciate
Ain't
you
that
taking
right,
this
feline?
seriously.
And the mouse nods and goes, "Yeah, that's right. You're sound like a werewolf. That's scary business." Oh, I don't think I actually introduced myself, by the way. Pleasure to meet y'all. My name is Feline Dimitri. This here, of course, is the sheriff of these parts, Mr. Mauser Kibblesberg. Kind of tips his hat again.
Pleasure to meet you both. As Johannes already introduced himself, I am Set. Kind of gesture.
So you're good?
Very funny. Definitely have not heard that one before. No, that is my name.
All right, I'm just checking. He kind of gives you a wink.
And I'll gesture to Dak and Silva. And these are our companions. If you want to introduce yourselves.
Dak has a perplexed look on his face that happened the first time Mauser used his first euphemism, I think is what they're called, right? Where if Dak couldn't understand regular euphemisms, he doesn't understand that one. So he's been trying to figure out what trout in the waterfall convention means for the last 5 minutes. But upon being pointed out, he does snap out of it. It's hello, I am Dak. It is a pleasure to meet you.
You look troubled, son. Did you happen to see this werewolf by any chance?
Only the aftermath of his work. I was perplexed by another notion. What is a trout?
Well, it's a type of fish, son Jim. It's a real big fish. Got kind of pretty colors, big old mouth. You see them a lot up at Lake Galifar there. If you end up going, making your way up the passage, you stop by the lake there, you'll see plenty of them.
Understood. I shall make it a point to find out what this trout is.
They taste pretty good too. If you want to fish yourself up some.
It is good to know that they are edible. Thank you.
Now I got a question for all of you. On account of your being so generous sharing this information with us. You got yourselves a place to stay for the evening, or are you just passing on through?
No, we're staying at the tavern down the road. We've already grabbed rooms. That's how I learned to come down here to talk to you. Spoke to someone there, got rooms, and asked them where the head of security for this area was.
Right, well, speaking from one cat to another person who's not a cat, let me just say, you watch yourself out there. See, some of the folk like to act like they take kindly to newcomers, but especially around nighttime, we got some undesirables that pop up now and again. Best not to walk anywhere alone. Maybe keep your company here as close as you can.
Appreciate the heads up. I don't think we had any plans to be walking around much after the sun is set, but we'll keep that in mind should we decide to venture out.
It's good. We still ain't found the last poor sap that ended up doing that.
Oh, that's concerning.
Yeah, very much so. We thought maybe he had kind of disappeared eastward, heading towards the border. At least that's where the tracks were starting, but about half a mile out, they just stopped. Disappeared, no sign of his horse, no sign of nothing. Like he just vanished into the nothing.
That's very concerning. You said that was towards the east?
Yeah, darndest thing.
Well, thankfully we're heading west, so we hopefully don't have to encounter anything like whatever happened there, but I hope you are able to figure out what happened without too much trouble.
I do as well. And he kind of strokes his whiskers, staring at you, unblinking. You notice that like nearly the entire conversation that you have had with the sheriff, they have not blinked. They have just been keeping your gaze with these enormous green eyes.
Do they look similar to the eyes of the person that had the hook and the hat?
No.
Okay.
The person with the hook, their eyes were dark and full of terror. These eyes are bright emerald green, and though a bit off-putting, there is very clearly life behind them.
Okay. Well, much appreciated for the heads up. If we happen to pass back through here and have some more free time, I don't want to speak on behalf of my companions, but we might be able to help you do a little bit of investigating at the very least. If we have the time, then we come back.
Works out, yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, we do want to. We're going to be staying the night, but we'll be heading to Passage first thing in the morning. We want to make sure that they're also made aware of the potential danger of this werewolf.
Understood. Well, if you're needing anything else from us here, you be sure to let us know. We'll always be about. And like I said, don't do too much wandering around after dark. Ain't safe out there. And definitely don't be seeking out Heebles the Jeebles.
Who?
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
You
okay.
hear the name Heebles the Jeebles, you don't answer him, you don't talk to him, you don't shake his hand.
the Jeebles. Okay.
Heebles the Jeebles.
Do you have a description? Do you have like?
I could spell it for you if you'd like.
Well, I mean,
HeebleSADAJEEBLES.
I think I got that.
Heebles
Yeah.
the Jeebles.
Heebles the
I
Jeebles.
appreciate that. Is this a person?
Heebles the Jeebles. Just don't mess with him.
He'd like us to think so. But there's something else there.
What do they look like? So we can make sure to steer clear at the very least.
These people, the
Or make
Jeebles.
sure that we haven't already encountered them.
They look like the last thing you see before the boatman carries you into the seven hells. They look like shadow brought to life through demon trickery. They look like the person who greets you as you're exiting the movie theater, even though you're trying to get to your car so you can get back home because you have to use the restroom as quickly as possible.
I'm so confused.
All right,
Guys, it's
you
the
know,
farmer we talked to. It's obvious.
Yeah, I was able to the Jeebles all along.
all right, that we'll make sure to do our best to stay away from them.
Good. You'll be better off.
We appreciate the heads up on that. I think we'll be off. If anything else comes up, we'll be sure to let you know. But otherwise, we do plan on heading out in the morning. So, best of luck, and hopefully, no werewolf encounters.
Understood. Y'all have yourselves a good day. Have yourself a good night's rest as well.
Thank you.
He kind of makes his way back around the corner, kind of muttering under his breath. That there evils of the Jeebles is just a scary thing. Horrible thing.
Well, I suppose we don't want to mess with the Jeebles.
Oh, before we actually like work our way all the way out, I was like, wait, do you know a man with like or a person with a hook and a top hat?
You see Feline, who is in the process of beginning to write out like this extensive report on like your eyewitness accounts of this werewolf activity, drops the quill and looks at you, fear in their eyes. The sheriff rounds back around the corner. Did I just hear you say something with my big old cat ears that I did do dislike?
Possibly.
No.
I think you just talked about Heebles to Jeebles.
Yeah, I was a person with a hook and a top hat. Like
What
a hook
sort of
for a
top
hand.
hat?
Just like a black top hat.
And what was he wearing on the hook?
What was he wearing on the hook, DM? It's just a hook, right?
It appeared to be just a hook.
It I mean, it just looks like a hook.
The sheriff and Feline both gasp dramatically. By the sovereign and the salad they eat for lunch.
Dak is melting at this point. I can only imagine. Dak is having a fucking panic attack with all of these
Phrases that he just
All these
Phrases.
colloquialisms.
Yeah.
Dak has perpetual question marks over his head. He's just holding the side of his head like
You're just getting a nosebleed.
he's,
I'm like very invested in this the Jeebles talk.
Dak is trying to pronounce the word, but he literally can't because his mouth isn't trained to make those noises.
I just don't remember seeing fuck, what's it called? God damn it.
Ed has seen a lot of things.
No, the
You ever-
Babadook.
You ever- yeah, honestly, not far off. Not far
I
off.
didn't realize Seth saw the Babadook.
Is that the he? I can't even say it.
You ever
Thing
you
you're talking
ever-
about?
You ever make an NPC for your players with a very ridiculous name just because you get great joy out of listening to them try to pronounce the
Heebles
name?
to the
I'll be
Jeebles.
forced to.
Yeah. Is that who you were talking about?
You listen to me close now. Whatever business you gotta do, you better get in and about and to get to doing it. And then you do it, and then you get yourself on out of this town. But get your night's rest first. I know you paid for a room. And then you getting yourself on out of this town. I know you mean well. And travelers like you are always a curious bunch. But I promise you, if you make any sort of contact with that man, that thing, it is going to bring you a lifetime of misery.
So like they waved at me. I did wave back.
Feline and Mauser kind of share a glance with each other, and Feline looks at you with kind of like a, a bit of like a half smile, like maybe they're into you.
I mean, yeah, and then like they were at the tavern. And then once I got the rooms and left, they made eye contact with me, smiled, and then faded into the shadows.
You said they waved at you? Was it like a side to side wave, or was it just like a, like kind of like a testify kind of wave, or like what was it?
I think it was a this.
Yeah, they're probably into you. Maybe you should ask them out.
No, no.
Okay, I looked away for a second. Where did this conversation go?
Apparently, the Babadook was hitting on me.
But he was like
Happy
not cool with
Happy
the
Pride Month,
Babadook interacting with you, and now all of a sudden he wants you to act on it.
Well, no, this is the mouse, isn't it?
This is Feline.
This is Feline.
Is speaking.
I have been purposefully not acknowledging your naming of these two NPCs, but god damn it. Yeah, so like just ignore that ever happened and we'll just leave, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like maybe they could, just want to. Maybe they want a friend. They might just want like a special little friend. That'd be nice. And Mauser tilts his hat down from the other side of the room and goes, or they want to hang you upside down like a vampire bat and drink your blood, also like a vampire bat.
Are you saying they're a vampire?
I didn't say nothing I didn't use my mouth for.
Now I'm getting confused. Okay, I think that should do it for us. Have a good day.
You do as well.
Yeah. It's sir, sergeant, sir? Deputy?
It's a sheriff. Sergeant was my mother-in-law.
Wow. We don't need
All
to
right,
keep
go
asking
on,
questions.
get Feline.
All
I
right.
got paperwork to do.
Best of luck with that.
They kind of shoo you out. As you're being shooed out of the door, Feline says, maybe if you bring them a gift, they'll be more receptive. I don't know. Try something out. Take care, y'all. And he kind of closes the door behind you. Slams the door shut.
Welp.
Okay, well, that was interesting. Dak, are you okay?
There's active smoke coming out of Dak's head. He's just wobbling.
Set will like go to pat Dak on the shoulder, then like remember that he doesn't like being touched and just be like, it's gonna be okay, Dak. Just don't think about it too hard.
It's gonna be okay.
Let's get back to the tavern, I guess. I don't, unless you all want to explore the town a little bit. I mean, it's still sun's high in the sky right now. It's like
Might as
Dude,
well
There's
see if there's
so
any
many-
shops.
And there's so many were very uncommon words I'm not familiar with.
Trust me,
I'm going to
Dak.
tell you one thing right now, Dak. Those weren't common.
Yeah.
It's a-
Yeah, they were speaking in a very interesting way that, to be honest, I did not fully understand a lot of what they were saying. So don't feel too bad, Tech.
It's more of an Albany expression.
Understood.
Yeah, you want to hit up some shops?
Might as well. We have plenty of time.
All right, y'all can hit up the shops. As I mentioned before, there was a shop that was like a leather workers. They had a bunch of like hide, tanned hide, some meat. They've got some like some buffalo meat, some venison wrapped up on the side, and they've got a bunch of tanned hides hanging on the wall behind them, as well as a couple sets of leather armor that they've kind of put together. There is also there is a food stand that has just like a small assortment of some like locally grown berries, as well as what looks like some fresh baked bread that they've got set out. Some pies as well, a few pastries, and then there was the shop that had sort of like some herbs and potions, and the advertised snake oil as well.
Said I'll grab some of the bread and then head over to the potion shop.
Okay. The bread is cheap. You're looking at like just a couple silver, for like a loaf of this like freshly homemade bread.
Okay, so like 2 silver.
Thank you kindly, young gentleman. All right, so you can add a loaf of bread to your inventory.
Oh, I mean, Set's actively going to eat it as they're walking away.
Okay, you can add loaf of bread to your stomach.
Just okay. Wait, yeah. So 1 gold is 10 silver, right?
Correct.
All right. I have to convert some of my gold pieces in my
And
inventory.
1 silver is also 1/10 of 10 silver. Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah. Oh, that hurt my brain so much, Dylan. You're so mean.
1 silver is also
pretty
1/20th of an electrum piece.
Yeah, it's true. There's no electrum here though. They've outlawed it because of the trouble.
Trouble.
I feel like they're cowards.
You won't if you research the trouble.
Gotcha. Dak will be looking for a duster that's very similar to the one that Mr. Mouser was wearing.
Yeah, the leather the leather hide shop there. They have a duster coat of similar. It's definitely not as worn down. It looks newer, and it's a little bit smaller. But they do have one, and it is priced at 35 gold pieces.
Price to move.
Is there a duster that is perhaps from last season, or something that is on discount or about to be thrown away?
The shop owner there, an orc, grizzled old orc, large fluffy white beard, kind of looks down at you with a squint in his eye. I got the 1 duster coat. No other duster coat. Just the one.
Is it possible to reduce the price for the little bit?
I can cut off part of the duster coat and then sell it to you for less.
How big is this duster coat?
It looks like in its current state, it's about like 2 sizes too large for you.
That would be preferable, actually.
All right, and he takes a pair of just like shears, takes the duster coat down, lays it down, and begins kind of like trimming off some of the sleeves, and kind of reduces it in size a bit. Now it's still a duster coat, you understand.
Yes.
but now it is worth 30 gold.
Forgive me, but isn't that still the price that you said, or have I?
It was 35 before. I've shortened the sleeves as well as taken back some of the hem. So now we're looking at about a 30 gold, which is 5 less than 35 gold.
Understood. And I put 3 platinum on the table.
Very good. He kind of takes it off. This duster coat is your duster coat. He hands it over to you.
Thank you. I say in the little orcish that I know. And then I try it on right in front of him.
You see the expression kind of shifts a little bit. He goes, you understand that to be, well, you're welcome. You see a little bit of pride beam on his face.
And in orcish, I say, has there been anything weird going on in town?
Ja, det är dormif. And you, I want you to make a wisdom check for me.
Please check. Absolutely.
It's a very thick accent you're trying to kind of cut through.
It's gonna be a 12.
Okay, yeah. You kind of make out in the words. You're able to kind of take out bits and pieces in it. It sounds like he's saying, again, a bit garbled, but you're getting like, there's not too much going on around here. Nice to meet somebody who, you don't really get the rest of it though. It's like nice to meet somebody who you don't know something.
Dak nods and replies with Oracle Rart here at Dorkor, which he hopes says, it is fine. It is good to speak with an orc, and so I can practice.
Mir Thorsen, and you do catch that. You've heard that, especially the end, the inflection on the it's perfect. Practice makes perfect.
Dak nods again, gives a small smile, and bows to the orc, and says, "Ich so gura," which is thank you for your time.
Yarthurgo. He kind of nods.
And Dak is going to walk back to the group with his new duster.
All right.
And say, as he's putting on the cowboy hat, that is the hat of disguise.
There we go.
I spoke with one of the shopkeepers, and everything seems fine, at least here in the town of Gold.
A
Thanks for
lone
getting that.
tumbleweed just sort of like skitters across the ground in front of all of you, and just passes by.
Break it open. It could have a rupee.
Dak lunges for it. No.
Good to know, Jack. Appreciate you checking that out for us.
Set, you had also mentioned that you wanted to visit the potion cellar there.
Yeah, go to the potion shop and see if they have any like healing potions and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's just a few feet walk over. You know, the stores are set up right next to each other. So you just walk over to speak to the seller there. Tall, man, uh, very heavy, thick sideburns coming down the sides of the face. A bit of a protruding snout and very steely eyes. Wearing a kind of like a bowler hat, kind of squashed down on top of their head. What can I do you for?
Hi there. I was looking for some healing potions, if you have any.
Gotcha. You just want regular, greater. What's your size? What's your style?
Oh, what do you have, and how much are they?
I got these here. You kind of clink, grabs a few bottles, kind of sets them out in front of him. Got your regular healing. I got that sitting at 15 gold. The greater is sitting at 25, and I got a bit of a discount going on right now. Normally my highest healing potion here would be at 45, but I've actually got it down to 30 to celebrate the special occasion.
What's the special occasion?
Oh, well, I suppose you wouldn't know, seeing as it looks like you folks aren't from around here. Yes, well, my lovely daughter is actually getting married tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations! Lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's just so excited, and I'm just happy as a clam.
Yeah, it's a momentous occasion. Congratulations. That sounds great.
Yeah.
So how many of each do you have?
I got about 2 or 3 each of these here.
How much would it be for the lot of them?
No. The all of well, aren't you an interesting person?
As a wedding present for your daughter.
Shucks and garbage. That is just too kind of you all. I'll tell you what. Let me count these up here. We'll say a nice clean 100 gold for the whole lot. And I'll even throw in, he kind of turns around, he produces a small little bottle. I'll even throw in this little bottle of snake oil here for you.
You know what? That sounds like a good deal to me. We'll take out 10 platinum.
It's real useful, this snake oil. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you accidentally stab yourself with a snake fang, you can just kind of dab it on the wound, and it'll completely remove any poisons or anything that would cause you to fall ill as a result of it.
You know what? That definitely might come in handy with
yeah, you never know when something like that'll happen. So.
Oh, we've had it happen. Wish we had this at the time, but.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Your friend, did they live long after that, or was it a quick death?
They're right there. I'll gesture to Dak.
Kind of looks over to you,
quick
Dak,
death.
in your full duster and your cowboy hat.
Dak walks eye to eyes to the seller and trying to mimic Mouser, like tip his hat, but it's a very awkward motion. So it's like Dak just full on grabs the brim of the head, cowboy hat disguise, and kind of moves it over his eyes.
It looks like he's recovering, and bless his little heart for that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll go ahead and hand him 10 platinum and
oh my
and again,
goodness.
Congratulations.
You have made us, I mean, we are going to be able to I think we might even be able to get a proper pig roast going. We're going to have a full banquet. Everybody in town going to be there. Oh, this is just going to be a wedding to remember, that's for sure.
Once in a lifetime.
A hoggening.
Jezebel, he kind of calls, and you see kind of fly around the corner, kind of rush around, legs flailing. I'm gonna be honest here. The closest visual to this is something like a full-grown monitor lizard. Wearing a very, very pretty, fluffy, like poofy pink dress, and with little bow tie, just above the ear hole, like a cute little pink bow right up above the ear hole there. Kind of skitters around the corner, crawls up onto the table. Jezebel, we're gonna be able to get an actual full banquet for the wedding. Isn't that exciting? And the lizard like looks up at you and goes, "Oh gosh, Daddy, ain't that just the nicest thing? Oh, Clarence is gonna love this."
Very confused, but still like, yeah, congratulations. Take the healing potions, put them in a bag, and then kind of just nod and start walking away.
Make a quick perception check for me, please.
That is going to be a 19.
Okay. If anybody else wants to make the same perception check, they can as well.
You know what? I always love
19's
tempting
pretty-
fate.
Perception check.
Yeah, just a perception check.
Nat 20. Let's
Ooh,
go.
nice.
Oh yeah.
Mine is how many brain cells I have left, which is 5.
Great. You see that the on one of the claws of this giant lizard, as she kind of beams happily at you in the sunlight, you see on one of the claws what appears to be this like almost like a sterling silver ring, like an engagement ring, with a shining white, almost diamond-like rectangular jewel in the middle, and the sides of the ring have been kind of carved to be in the shape of like a flower. It almost looks like a flower and like a leaf wrapping around, and it just shines brightly in the sunlight.
You know what? Good for them.
Good for them.
Lobe is lobe.
You think the gem might be cubic zirconium, but it's hard for you to say. You're not a gemsmith.
Yeah. Well, again, congratulations. Hope it turns out to be a, very large and happy event.
Yeah, it should be one for the history books, I reckon. Ain't that right, Jezebel? And Jezebel, as large lizards are known to do, just sort of
Oh man. All right. Well, we'll be off then. Thank you again for the potions.
all right. Was there anybody else that wanted to get some shopping in here real quick?
Is there a is there a weapons store anywhere nearby?
No weapons store actually, from what you can see.
Okay. Then I'm good. I'll wait till passage.
Okay. Anything for you, Silva? Or otherwise, any other places that we were looking to go before we round out the day here?
I don't think so.
I
We
think
just
so.
wanted to get some air.
Did you want me to add the potions, or are you gonna go ahead and add them?
Go ahead and add them. I've got faith in you.
Okay.
It was 3 of the standard, and then it was 2 of the other ones.
2 of the greater, and then
So, yeah, 2 of the greater, and then there should be 2 superiors.
2 superiors. Okay, so 3, 2, 2.
Yep, 3, 2, 2.
Cool.
healing. Yeah, I'm just adding those now.
All right. Anything else y'all would like to do?
No, I don't think so. Lock in for the night.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, not crazy amount of extra things here that would engaged in. So yeah,
Yeah, and you know, making your way back to the inn there, like you can tell that this is definitely a smaller town than what you've experienced. It's clear that the folk around here, they don't have too much going on besides, you know, what they're occupying themselves with. And of course the winery off in the distance there. But yeah, you can return back to the inn. It is still bustling and packed with people. Drinks are being tossed about everywhere. There are people singing songs. The pianist is still striking away at the keys. Same spot they've been in since you left. There are, you know, a ton of people at the tables walking around. Set.
Yes.
The person you clocked before that you couldn't quite get a beat on, they are still there.
Okay.
They're sitting at a corner table with two other people that you do not recognize.
Different people from the ones they were sitting with earlier, or
Yes.
interesting. Could I get like surreptitiously, could I get like a little closer to try and get a better look and see if I can
Yeah. Make
like
a
figure out where I know
you
them
want to
from?
do deception or sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand works
Okay.
better. That is a 12.
12. Okay. You're kind of trying to, you know, surreptitiously just sort of make your way over without drawing too much attention to yourself. And as you're doing so, you bump into somebody accidentally.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, that's quite all right, dear. You see, it is a young woman. She is wearing a similar kind of poofy dress that you've seen some of the other women that were wearing them on the upper landings. Her hair is tied back in a very large long braid. Beautiful cheekbones, almost elvish features to the face. She has makeup highlights under the eyes. The lashes have been extended and kind of curl up and outward. And there is a sparkle to the irises that you think may be some sort of an enchantment placed on them. You could pay me a favor by buying me a drink if you have a moment.
Not even like making eye contact with her.
Mm.
Just like flips up a gold coin.
She kind of like, she doesn't catch it. You flip it and it just kind of like goes over her shoulder, and she looks at you like, I don't work here, darling. That wasn't.
Saying that,
Alright,
I'll
and
just kind of look. I'll look at her and I'll be like,
Is she like eye level with me?
It's
Like,
about eye level, yeah.
I'll just kind of look at her and be like, "I'm so sorry, I was not paying attention. What were you asking for?"
Never mind. It's all right. I'm gonna go. And she just turns and sort of walks off.
Sorry again. And then immediately just turn back to focusing.
You turn around and slam face to face with just a wall of a person.
Kind of back. I'll be like, I just seem to keep running into people. Terribly sorry about that.
What'd you go and hurt her feelings for? And you see that you are face to face with a very tall, very muscular orc.
I hurt her feelings.
She just wanted you to buy her a drink is all, and you threw money at her like she was nothing more to you than a receptacle for money.
She wanted a drink, right? That was so she could get a drink.
She wanted your company. She wanted to meet you and spend time with you, socialize.
I'm so sorry. I don't.
Are you not somebody who like socializes often?
No. Not
Damn.
particularly.
No.
Damn.
Okay. Well, let me help you. You got anybody here with you, or are you all by your lonesome?
No, I have some party members.
Oh, that's great.
I'm
Invite
like-
them over. Let me bring you all to my table. I'll show you how to hang out with people in public.
Sure. Okay. I'll gesture to have the rest of the group come over. As soon as his back is like to me, I will cast invisibility.
Okay. He
Damn.
starts sort of turning away from you, walking towards that same corner table that you were eyeing before. And as he's sort of turning around, he says, "I'm Watts, by the way. I work at the vineyard there. I got a pretty important position up at the vineyard, but about that, I want to hear about all you folk." And he kind of walks over to the table. He goes, hey, Tessa, Marcus, Cassowary, you ought to meet this person I done just met.
Oh,
Their name."
fuck.
And he turns around and you're not there. Oh,
So having
they must
still
have,
followed
what?
him.
They must have been real shy. The person seemed like they were pretty socially awkward. I was gonna, introduce them to try to help them come out of their shell, and they done took off on me. Huh.
as
Seventh
soon
time
as
this week.
as soon as
Time
they
this week.
say cassowary,
What's the last name?
I will immediately post up next to that person and deactivate invisibility.
Okay, I pull up. Okay. When you say you post up, like, are you like sitting down next to them, or are you just like getting up next to, like, where exactly are you?
I'll be like sitting next to the person who they addressed as cassowary.
Okay. To get into them, you're gonna have to somehow shuffle past the other person that is sitting to the right of them.
Okay.
So make an acrobatics check for me to see if you can kind of weasel your way over.
16.
You a 16. It's gonna be contested. And they rolled an 18. You kind of like shuffle through and step over to the side, and as you do, the figure that was acknowledged as Tessa, kind of shifts in their seat and goes, "I feel like somebody invisible just tried to step over me so they could sit over on my other side. 7th time this week." And they just kind of go back to their drink. You managed to kind of worm your way in between them, so now you're sitting between Tessa and the small figure who has their face covered by a menu at this point. It reads on there in big letters, "Still a menu."
I'm glad that it modified just slightly. Yeah, once I'm sitting down, I will drop invisibility and go, Cassowary. Now that's a name I have heard before.
The menu drops, and you see the now unmistakable face of one Cassowary Dubois as they look at you with shock and a little bit of fear in their eyes. With a big gulp. Clark Bart? And that's where we're gonna end tonight's session.
No way!
As someone who
The
looks
next time
nothing
we
like
meet-
Caspian.
The next time we meet, we shall see what comes of this chance meeting.
Yeah.
As you all settle yourselves in for a good old yeehaw time here in the city of Gaul.
Bart.
Yeehaw time.
Let's go. This is what
Until
we're here
then,
for. This is what it's all
Until
about.
then, thank you all for watching, and thank all of you for playing. And remember, what was his name?
Boy.
Cassowary Dubois.
Oh,
wait.
Heebies the jeebies.
Jeebies and jeebies.
Hipple, pipple, 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 piddle.
Good.